بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على نبينا Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from all of us coming here to learn the language of the noble Quran. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us sadqa jariya for our parents and make our children sadqa jariya for us. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us tawfiq to learn the language of the noble Quran and then teach others. I welcome you, my respected sisters, to today's class. As you know, today we have a revision class for what we have studied in past from chapter 1 to chapter 5. I hope you all are able to hear me very loud and clear. If you are, please give me some feedback. And you know the host to give the feedback is your answers. Please write here. Inshallah, we'll shortly start the class. Barakallahu feek. Alhamdulillah. So this is our revision. Of course, I hope everybody can understand. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we've studied 9 lessons before, almost 9 hours, maybe perhaps a little bit more. We cannot just cover them in 1 hour class. All we're going to do is just kind of as a reminder that what we have studied, we will touch upon the subject so that we can just get everything in our mind, what have we studied, and if there's something where you think you need to really become very strong and you are weak in that, so you will be able to identify that. You can make notes in your notebook for that. So we started book 2, first chapter, Alhamdulillah, and we had Inna wa Khawatuha we've seen. Then Inna wa Khawatuha was kept coming in upcoming lessons as well. In today's revision class, inshallah, we'll try to summarize all those subjects in one places, because in the book something came in the chapter 1 and something else came in chapter 2 and then 3 and then 4th, maybe Inna wa Khawatuha came again. But here we will just do everything, like you will get for cross-referencing in one glance, you will see everything, inshallah. So what is inna? As when we talk about inna in itself, inna is harf tawkidin wa nasbin. What's the meaning of that? Harf tawkidin means it gives an emphasis. So if we have a word al-kitabu jadidun, this is a statement, the book is new. There's no emphasis in that. But if I say inna al-kitaba jadidun, it means I'm saying indeed the book is new, just giving the tawkid. And we have seen inna has got sisters. When we say sisters, we mean that all the huruf, all the particles in this group behave in certain way. Like when there are sisters, they have some habits which are common. So all of these inna wa khawatuha, they will come in the beginning of the noun sentence and they will make the mubtada, they will change mubtada and khabar in certain ways. One, they will change the name. Second, it will change their i'rab. As far as the name is concerned, for example, inna will be called ismu inna. Khabar will be called khabar inna, which used to be mubtada and khabar before that. If we talk about la'alla, same thing is going to happen with la'alla. La'alla will be called, so mubtada will be called after la'alla, ismu la'alla, and khabaru la'alla. If we have anna, then after anna, we will have mubtada and khabar, but because anna came, so the names and the i'rab will be changed. It will be called ismu anna and khabaru anna. This is one thing. Another thing, why it is called inna wa khawatu, why it is not called laita wa khawatu, why it is not called lakinna wa khawatu, why is it not called kanna wa khawatu? We haven't studied that before. So this is the revision class. It's just a side information, really. So many a time you'll see that in other things as well, there's one category called kana wa akhwatu, or kana and sisters, not ka'anna. Ka'anna is something different. Kana is from akhwatu inna. Kana and akhwatu is different thing. So all of these words, like inna wa akhwatuha, wa kana wa akhwatu, they're called ummul bab, the mother of that category. Why are they said? Because they are used more. So inna perhaps is used much more than lakinna and kanna and lalla and laita and anna. So that's why it has been given ummul bab. So this is this is one of the sisters which is used a lot. So the whole category was named after them. Subhanallah. Same is with kana. in the kana category, we have kana, Leisa, we have many other things in kana. But why it is called kana? Because it's called Ummul Bab. This is the mother of that category. So this is the word which is being used a lot, and hence it is called like that. Anyway, this was a side thing. The meaning of inna is emphasis. Lalla is used for hope. Lalla as well has two meanings. One is for hope. So we say, I hope or hopefully. And the second meaning is I'm afraid of. We have not studied that. I'm just telling you because we're trying to cover everything on one screen. So it's a good idea that we know something extra, which is not going to come in the exam, right? Which is not the part of what we've studied. But la'alla has got two meanings, I hope and I'm afraid of. We'll see the usages, inshallah, when they will come. So this was inna, la'alla, anna means that, ka'anna means as if, lakinna means but. But later we haven't studied that, so we cannot go into that, though the meanings are given here, but we have not studied that. So we have seen inna, and we've seen, for example, here Innal kitaba jadidun. So we saw that inna, after inna, ismu inna was coming, and that was our mubtada. It was al kitabu, became al kitaba. But what will you do to a sentence which was mubtada and khabar, of course, but mubtada was not a noun, mubtada was a pronoun, like in this one. What was the original sentence? It was huwa tabibun. He is a doctor. So you want to emphasize and you want to make sure that the person who's listening will understand that what you are saying is sure, you are sure about it. You will say innahu tabibun. So what we've learned was that huwa, huma, whom, this is the category of verbs which was the which these are the pronouns which comes as mubtada and they are marfu. But if we are bringing that after inna, we cannot have these pronouns because these pronouns can only come as marfu. They only sit in the chair of marfu, whereas after inna we need something which is mansub, because ismu inna is always mansub. So then we brought the category of this pronoun, and we know these pronouns. These pronouns are being used in many places for mudaf ilay, mudaf ilay, kitabuhu, his book, for with harf jar ilayhi, towards him, minhu, from him. So they can be used as majrur depending on what is coming before that, and they can be used as mansub if there is a inna coming. So we know this rule from very long time, that the Arab of the damir, especially, it depends what is coming before that. If we see a pronoun like this attached pronoun, and if there's a mudaf before that, then we say this damir is mudaf ilay and it is majrur. If there's a harf jar before that, then we will say this damir is playing the role of ism majrur, and of course Arab is majrur. And if this inna is coming before this damir, then we will say this is ismu inna, and its Arab is mansub. It is sitting in the chair of mansub because after inna, ismu inna comes in. Ismu inna can only sit in the chair of mansub. We have also seen these damair coming after the verb. So what happens after the verb? After the verb as well, we have fa'il and we have maf'ul, the doer and the object. And we know that the damair, the pronouns which we attach to the past tense verb, which plays the role of the fa'il, those are different. Those damai looks different. We have got wawul jama in that, and tu, tuma, tum. We have got different category. Where these damai can also get attached to the verb, but when they are attached to the verb, they will be playing the role of the object of the verb. Something or someone on which or on whom the action was carried on. So they will come and they will be called maf'ulun bihi, the object of the verb. And in that situation, we will say they are sitting in the chair of mansub because maf'ulun bihi is always mansub. Then we have seen for negative, interrogative, sorry. Usually when you want to say or, like you use in English, so you will use in Arabic aw, as you can see here. Aw is used for or. But if your question if you have a question and you have a choice, then you will not use aw, you will use So if you want to ask, are you a doctor or are you a teacher? So you will say, anta tabibun mudarrisun. One who has not studied and they only know that the means or, so or you can say aw means or, they may just sometimes put aw here and sometimes put there, isn't it? But the correct thing is that you use where you have a question and you have a choice. So if you have to choose between the two things, then you will use and we've seen the examples from the Quran. Some sister asked that in Surah Mulk and ayah is starting with there is no hamzatul qat, there is no istifham. So what have we studied? So in Quran, if we in the learning we make small sentences. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on the soul of Sheikh Abdurrahim. Is giving us small sentences where one sentence starts from one point and finish at one point. So we see maybe 4 or 5 words are there in a sentence. In the Quran, we have longer ayahs, and one ayah could be connected to the ayah previously. So and then the context may be continued. So if you see then you will find, then you're thinking where's you look behind and inshallah somewhere you will find that. This is true for other things as well. Other Arab, we think, oh, this is khabar. Where is the mubtada? We can't see the word just before the khabar is mubtada. It is possible that there is something else coming between mubtada and khabar, right? Like we've studied before, alladhi ismul mawsul. So if I say al-qalamu alladhi ala al-maktabi maksurun, so let's take the first word. This is mubtada. Where is the khabar? Khabar is coming in the right in the end. Maksurun. Take the middle part out for 1 minute. So what are we left with? Al qalamu maksurun. The pen is broken. But what is coming in the middle is the explanation, is the more identification of the pen. Maybe one pen is in my pocket. One pen is in your hand. One pen is on the table. So I am talking about the pen which is on the table. That one is broken. Hence I use al-qalamu alladhi ala al-maktabi, which is on the table is broken. So you see, you have to be careful what we are learning. We will see in the Quran coming in a bigger context. Possible is coming in bigger context. So you will find one thing is coming at one place and the other thing is coming after some more information. Then we have seen Leisa. As in the beginning, we just discussed that there is something called Kana wa akhwatuha, Kana and his sisters. Leisa belongs to that category which comes under the category of Kana wa akhwatuha. We will see these things in detail, inshallah. What is the meaning of Leisa? First of all, was Leisa is a verb or Leisa is a particle? Leisa is a verb. Inna wa akhwatuha are particle. Those are huruf, but Leisa is the verb. And what kind of verb is that? Verbs can be of different kind, different types from different perspectives. For example, if we talk about Sister Aisha, now you could say from the gender point of view, Sister Aisha is female. From married or unmarried point of view, she is married. She, of course, she's from the point of view of siblings, maybe she has brothers and sisters, maybe she's the only child of their parent. You see, maybe she's working, maybe she's a student. So one person, one thing can be looked upon from many different angles. Same is for the verbs. So we have studied verbs. When we look at the makeup of the word, how many verbs, letters verb could have, we said there could be a 3-letter verb or there could be a 4-letter verb. There could be a verb which has got 3 original letters, or there could be a verb which has got 4 original letters. Likewise, verbs could be ending on the letter alif, waw, or ya. Those verbs are, or let's say verbs which have alif, waw, and ya inside, they are called weak verbs. So this is another classification. Verbs which do not have alif, waw, or ya in them, they are called sound verbs. They don't have any weak letter in them. So all I'm trying to say is that some information we have not discussed before. Right now, I'm not trying to give you new information just for the sake of this, but just so that you can understand this word, that when we are saying Leisa is a verb and then we are treating it differently. So why Leisa we treat it like this, and when Dhahaba comes we say something else. So Leisa is not a complete verb. So Leisa means Leisa basically means is not. He is not or it is not. So when you add with Leisa, not or is not, is it complete meaning? Is giving any meaning? Leisa, if I say Zaidun Leisa or Leisa Zaidun, Leisa Zaidun means Zaid is not. What Zaid is not? But for the verb, I say Kharaja Zaidun, Dhahaba Zaidun, Nama Zaidun, Akala Zaidun, Dahika Zaidun. It makes perfect sense. So the one word which comes usually after verb is the fa'il, but here it's not suitable. So this is why it is called, it is an incomplete verb. It is a naqis verb. And because of that, it requires ism and it requires khabar. And Laysa also comes before the noun sentence. So if you have a sentence like Al-Kitabu Jadidun, the book is new, after the Laysa, it will become Laysa Al-Kitabu Jadidan. Previously, our khabar was marfu and our mubtada was marfu. After Laysa, this mubtada will be called ismu Laysa and its i'rab will be marfu. And this thing which was our khabar, now it will be called khabru Laysa, but the i'rab will become mansoob. We've also seen the khabar of Leisa can come in two forms. It could be like this, jadidan, or it could have harf jar. If there's a harf jar, then khabar of Leisa will become majroor. But we will not say khabrul laysa is majroor. We will say jar majroor shibul jumla khabrul laysa. So basically, what we are saying is that this combination of harf jar and ism majroor, they are sitting in the chair of khabrul laysa. And then, like inna, we have seen that after inna, we could have ismu inna coming as a proper noun, like al kitaba, right? Or we could have damir coming, innahu tabibun. So we have ha coming. Same thing is with laysa. It's very easy, alhamdulillah. After laysa, you will have ismu laysa. Ismu laysa could be a proper noun, al kitabu, al-baytu, anything. Or it could be a damir, it could be a verb. So when it comes with the verb, this is the category of the verb we will join, which we have discussed earlier, but we did not see the slide. These are the pronouns which are used with the verbs. As we know, dhahaba, dhahaba, dhahabu, dhahabta, so forth, so on. We know that it's given here. So these pronouns will be attached with the Leisa. Now, we have also seen in this Leisa that from after fifth point, we have dhahaba, and then we are adding the pronoun to show who is doing the action. But in Laysa, what's happening is, you see, it's not la, lam, and ya and sin. Ya is gone. It's lasna, lasta, lastuma, lastum, lasti. What is the reason for that? We will see that in future, but the reason is iltiqai sakinain. The When you attach a mutaharrik pronoun, we have learned, alhamdulillah, when we attach a pronoun with a vowel sign on that, then the third letter of the verb will get sukoon. What are the letters of the verb called? Fa kalima, ain kalima, and lam kalima. I'm not going to go into the details, sisters, because this is revision. I hope you understand that. So lam kalima gets a sukoon as soon as the damir, which has got a haraka, pronoun which has got a haraka, comes in attached with the verb, as we can see here. What happens with Laisa is, you had Laisa, Lam, Yasin, no problem. You had Laisa here, Seen with the fatha. As soon as the damir came, the pronoun came, Seen has to become silent. Now you have iltaqai sakin, and alhamdulillah, I can discuss that now a bit, because you know what is iltaqai sakin, a meeting of two vowel-less letters. Now we are not able to pronounce, hence we drop the ya. We'll see the detail, inshallah, in future lessons. This is the reason ya is not there. However, I've requested you to memorize that. If you'll memorize that, then without knowing this factor, you will know that, okay, this is how the conjugation of Laisa is going to be. And then we have seen the examples from the Quran, from the Noble Quran for Laisa. And then we have studied Zu. Zu can mean having or possessing. So Zu could have two meanings depending on the sentence. It could be used as having, or it could have the meaning of possessing. Zu, like many other words in Arabic language, Zu could be singular and could be plural. Dhu could be masculine and dhu could be feminine. So if dhu is singular, it will be dhu. If dhu is coming for a feminine, it will be dhatu. We will not discuss jama today. So Hamidun dhu lahyatin. Hamid has beard. If for Aisha, if we say Aisha tu talibatun dhatu ilmin. Aisha is a student having knowledge. So she is a knowledgeable student, right? So this is how dhatu and dhu are used, and they both are used for singular, masculine, dhu, and dhat is for a plural. We've seen the examples from the Quran, from the Noble Quran for dhu. And then we have studied a pattern, af'alu, a wazn, a design of the word, a structure of the word, a special way of writing this word. The pattern is called af'alu. So the words coming on this pattern can be used as comparative or superlative degree. It's called in Arabic ismut tafdil. So if you use ismut tafdil, if you have word tawilun, an adjective, how do? You simply take the ya off and you add hamzatul qat. Look, it is atwalu. It is on the pattern of afalu. Now, once you have this ismut tafdil ready, now you can use it as comparative or superlative. It's your choice. So if you put the word min after atwalu, it will give you the meaning of comparison. If you put another noun after atwalu, which is in majrur form like atwalu talibin, then it will give you the meaning of the tallest student. So atwalu after coming noun, majrur form, it will give you the meaning of superlative. And if you put min after atwalu, then it will mean comparison. We have seen the examples from al-tafdil from the Noble Quran. And then we've said numbers. We said numbers are of two types, cardinal number and ordinal numbers. So when we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we are counting the number. We are not, it's not tartib, it's not sequencing. Whereas ordinal numbers are first, second, third, fourth, fifth. 3 to 10 we have studied in previous lesson, previous level. This level we have studied numbers 11 to 19, and we saw that 11 to 19, number 11 and 19, they match in everything. First of all, one thing is called number, which is adad, and what we are counting is called ma'dud. It could also be called tamiz when you are counting from 11 to 19. So basically, if you say 13 or 12 or 11, you become silent. One will not understand what 12, 12 pence, 12 houses, 12 books. So just to clarify the ambiguity, you use the noun, you tell the person what were you counting. So this is called ma'dud, or you could say it is called tamiz. So we have seen in the previous level that in numbers and the ma'dud, what you are counting and the number will be opposite. What is happening in 11 and 19? In 11, there will be no opposition. The number will match in gender with what you are counting, number 11. Number 12 will also match in gender with what you're counting. However, from 13 to now 19, what's going to happen is, first of all, we need to understand numbers 11 to 19 comes in two parts. ثلاثة عشرة. So 3 and 10, 13. أربع عشرة. 4 and 10, 14. خمسة عشرة. What's the meaning of خمسة عشرة? خمسة means 4, 5, and عشرة means 10. So 15 students you're talking about. But we see in English, you just write 15, F-I-F-T-A-N in one word. In Arabic, they're coming in two words. So when they're coming in two words, we need to see that, because we know that numbers can be masculine and feminine. Now we need to decide which gender we will use for number. In 3 to 9, we knew that the number will be opposite to what we are counting. What's going to happen in 11 to 19? In 11 to 19, because number has got two parts, first part of the number will be in opposition to what we are counting, and the second part of the number will match. So, ثلاثة عشرة طالبة. Thalatha will be opposite to talibatan. Talibatan is feminine, thalatha is masculine, whereas asharata is matching the what we are counting. Arba ashara, arba is masculine because what we are counting is female students. So that's female and that's masculine. What about the second part of the number? Because we just seen that the number comes in two parts. Second part will always match, and we can see this in this slide. First part is opposite, and second part is matching with what we are counting. So I hope you have done the practice and it was easy. It was really not difficult. Is everybody with me, sisters? Are you all getting that, right? And then we have seen that numbers, these numbers, 13 to 11 to 19, excluding 12, they are mabni, they are fixed. They don't change how they look like according to their placement in the sentence. From numbers 3 to 9, they change. If marfu, you will see dhamma. Mansub, you will see fatha. Majrur, you will see kasra. But these numbers will stay same with the fatha. Whether it's the place for marfu, mansub, or majrur, they will still always show the fatha. So these are the numbers as we've seen in the beginning, ordinal number and cardinal numbers. Ordinal numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, sorry, cardinal numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and ordinal numbers are first, second, third, fourth, fifth. It goes like that. In Arabic, all numbers comes in two forms, masculine and feminine. So in Arabic, for first, if you are saying first for the masculine, you will use al-awwal. For the feminine, you will use al-ula. So at-talibul awwal, but at-talibatul ula. Likewise, at-talibul thani, second student, male student. For feminine, at-talibatul thaniyatu, second student. And then we've seen khabar. Khabar can be of three types. Khabar can be one word, khabar can be phrase, or khabar can be sentence. If I say at-talibu maridun, the student is sick, or at-talibu mushtahidun, the student is hardworking. So this mujtahidun is just one word, right? It's only one word. But here, Zaidun fil masjidi, there are two words. Zaid is mubtada, where is the khabar? Together, they both, fi and al masjidi, form a khabar. They both give us information about Zaid, that he is in the masjid. So we will say this kind of khabar is called phrase khabar. It is also possible that the khabar will come as a full sentence, will have a more information. So we say al mudarrisuna, the teachers, mubtada. What about the khabar? Khabar is ذهبوا إلى المدرسة. So what is ذهبوا? ذهبوا is our verb. Ila is harf jar, and al madrasati is ism majrur. Together from ذهبوا until ila madrasata, this is the noun sentence because it's beginning with the sorry, it's a verb sentence because beginning with the verb. Al mudarrisuna is our mubtada. What is the news we have about al mudarrisuna? Dhahabu ila al madrasati. Dhahabu ila bayti. They went to the school or they went to the house. And then we have seen the chapter of fa'il and maf'ul. Fa'il is somebody who is doing the action. Maf'ul is somebody upon whom the action is being done. In Arabic, in English, we call fa'il is a doer and maf'ulun bihi is the object. We have also seen that some verbs requires doer only, and the meaning is understood. So if I say kharaja Zaidun, Zaid left, meaning is understood. Nama tiflu, the child slept, meaning is understood. You don't need any further information. But if I say daraba Hamidun, Hamid ate, you will obviously have a question, who did he hit? So here you need maf'ulun bihi. So this is the second type of verb. So this is what we have seen, that all verbs need a doer. However, some verbs also need an object. And then we have seen types of verbs, as we've discussed earlier in the lesson today, that from the point of view of root letters, how many letters is the verb made up of? You see, house is made up of what? Bricks. Verb is made up of letters, like any word. So verb is made up of either 3 root letters or 4 root letters. When we say 4 root letters, or 3 root letters, what we mean is these letters are must. Because these letters are there, written in particular form, noon, sad, and ra, this is giving us a meaning of helping. But it is possible that it is also possible that the verb will have more than 3 letters, right? It could be a 4-letter verb, but it is also possible that the verb will have a 5 letter, 6 letter, but that will just change the meaning. How does it change the meaning? We've seen that before. If we have a nasara and we add alif between alif and sad, so we add alif between fa kalima and ain kalima. We know fa kalima, ain kalima, lam kalima, isn't it, sisters? So if you add alif between fa kalima, the meaning will become the helper. From the help, it'll become the helper. Kataba is a verb. Add alif between fa and ain kalima, it'll become katib, the writer. But if you take the alif out from nasirun, does the meaning gets totally destroyed? No, you will be left with nasara, which means the meaning of the word, he helped. If you take alif out of katib, you are left with kaf, ta, and ba. What's the meaning? He wrote. So you see, this is the difference between when we say root letters and when we say the letters which are additional letters. This is the difference. I hope it is clear. And obviously, we know there are 3 parts of speech in Arabic: ism, fail, and harf, nouns, particles, and words. And then this is, as we've discussed earlier, that all verbs are put by grammarians on the pattern of fa'ala, fa, ain, and lam. So if you write fa'ala and write any verb underneath, so we are talking about 3-letter verbs. We are not discussing anything else. So the first letter of the verb you are putting under fa'ala will be called fa kalima. The second letter of the verb which you are putting under ain will be called ain kalima. And the third letter of the verb which you are putting under the pattern of fa'ala, which is falling right under lam, it will, in this case it is jim, it will be called lam kalima. So fa kalima, ain kalima, lam kalima. Now you may ask, okay, so before we go into further detail, Zahaba, Zal is the first letter, that will be called Fa kalima. Ha is the second letter, we say it is Ain kalima. Ba is the last letter of the verb, third letter, so we say it is Lam kalima. Outside the revision, somebody may say Fa'ala. Why the pattern of Fa'ala? Why every time we see Fa'ala and we say Fa kalima, Ain kalima, Lam kalima on the basis of Fa kalima? Why don't we say Kha kalima, Ra kalima, Jim kalima? Or why don't we say Noon kalima, Sawad kalima, Ra kalima? Interesting question, isn't it? The answer to this, some of the grammarians have said the reason is fa'ala means what? Fa'ala means he did. Fa'ala, the word fi'lun, the action comes from the word fa'ala. So what is most suitable if you have to choose? If you pick the verb kharaja, kharaja means to left, nasara means to help, samia means to hurt. They are all actions, but they have different meaning. But fa'ala in itself, it means action. If you understood what I said, it's fine. If you didn't, don't worry about it. And then we have seen how to make verb from past tense to present tense, a very important thing. So we have in past qatala, jalata, dhahaba, shariba, katura. We know they all translates as a madi, past tense. How do we make present tense? We have learned just 2 things in the class, that we will add ya before that. And this ya will make this qatala, jalasa, dhahaba, shariba, kathura change into mudare, into present tense. All we will do, what we've learned was, another thing was, on the last letter we will put a dam. So this was just for our little learning. There is a change happening on Ain Kalima as well, but we will deal with this in detail, though we have done some here and there, but with detail we will do in future. All we wanted to understand was that on the surface level, how the both verbs looks like. So if you see kataba somewhere, you know it means he wrote. But if you see yaktubu, so you don't get confused and you understand, oh, this ya is harful mudari. This letter is added to make this kataba into present tense. And these are the letters alif, nun, ya, and ta. These are called huruful mudari. If I add alif before kataba and say aktubu, it will mean I am writing. If I add noon before kataba and just make some more changes, it will give the meaning naktubu, we are writing. If I just say ya, add ya here, so it will give the meaning of hero, he is writing, yaktubu. And if I want to say she is writing or you are writing, then we will use ta, taktubu. But if we use ta for both third person singular and for the one who is in front of us, how will we identify? We will identify by looking at the context of the sentence. Then I've requested you to memorize these verbs, and alhamdulillah, many of you have done that. So if you have memorized that, like dhahaba, 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 you've seen it appeared so many times in the test and it'll keep coming, inshallah. You, without even understanding a lot of it, you will be knowing that what is yadhabu means. Yadhabu means he is going, yadhabani means they too are going, yadhabuna means they all are going. So you have alhamdulillah memorized and you already know the meaning. More details, inshallah, we'll discuss in next level, apart from a little detail which will be discussed in this revision class, because we have done that. So when we look at the word sentences, there are two types of sentences. Sentence which begins with the noun are called jumla ismiya. Sentence which begins with the verb are called jumla failure. And jumla is failure has got two pillars, fail and file. These two are must. Without it, it will not be a verb sentence. Verb sentence must have both. But as far as the mafulun bihi, the object of the verb is concerned, as we have seen earlier, some verbs will have mafulun bihi, object of the verb, and some verbs don't require that. And then we have seen in detail about fa'il and maful. So because when we are dealing with a verb sentence, then we know about the verb. We have seen the past tense verb. We've been looking at it since long time. And then alhamdulillah, we've also attended a bit of present tense verb. So it is of course, was necessary that after verb we move towards file and maful. So we saw file. When file, what do we mean by file? File means the one who is doing the action, right? So file can come in two forms. File can come like a parent noun like this one, daraba al-mudarrisu, daraba hamidun, kataba talibu, akala zaidun. So you will have like this. And as well, your mafulun bihi can also come in two ways. One way could be it is coming as an apparent noun. At-taliba, you can see that it's not a pronoun, it's a proper noun. Darab al-mudarrisu at-talib. You could have akala zaidun khubza. Zaid ate the bread. So you can have fa'il and maful coming as an apparent noun. It is also possible that you have a sentence where you have a fa'il coming as an apparent noun, but your mafulun bihi, the object, is coming as a damir. So when you say Hamid asked him, Sa'ala Hamidun, Hamid asked who? Sa'alahu Hamidun. So this mafulun bihi, the object of the verb, here is coming as the pronoun. We have seen that, alhamdulillah, we have studied that. It is also possible that you will have a sentence in which the doer and the object, in other words, fa'il and maf'ulun bihi, both of them will be coming as the pronoun, as we saw in this one, sa'altuka. Sa'ala is past tense verb. Tu means I. Who is asking? I am asking. I asked in past, right? I ask. And who do I ask? I ask you. So you are the object of the verb. You got affected by my action of asking. So we have seen that as well in detail. And then we have seen, we knew how to identify the file in past tense from very long time by adding this damir, this alif or this wawul jama or this alif for dual or this noon or ta'atumatum titumatun tuna. We knew that. And then we've studied in this level up to so far that we, with small changes, discussed earlier, we can change past tense into future tense, present tense and future tense both. It gives you both meanings, but we said that we will continue for now just considering it's only giving the meaning of present tense, because for future tense, more things will be added and we really don't want to bring so many things in one go. So now the question is, we know that this slide is about the file. So don't think about anything else, please. This is about the doer of the verb. We know that the doer of the verb appears like this in this form of pronouns in fi'l madi. How do we find out who is doing the action in the present tense in fi'l mudari? So we have seen that verbs are divided. Fi'l mudari is divided into three categories. The ones here in the green, the ones in the pink, and ones in the blue. The ones in the green are called al-af'alul khamsa. These are special verbs because they always have either alif noon or waw noon or ya noon. So in these verbs, if you want to find out who is the file, ignore the noon in those ones and just remember that alif, waw, and ya. These are your file. These are your doers, as you can see in the blue box. As far as the pink verb is concerned, in the pink verb does not come in the category of af'alul khamsa, but still the noon is playing the role of a file. These two pink verbs are for third person feminine plural and second person feminine plural. This leaves us one category only. We've seen the three categories. One were af'alul khamsa, and these feminine verbs, which are called mabni, they don't change. We'll not go into detail. Just for the name of category, understand it's called mabni. Third category left is this one, the blue ones. They are called al-af'alul arbia, but we will not go into the name. Just understand that these ones, the blue ones, where is the doer? In these ones, doer is called that it is hidden. We cannot see the doer. Like in the past tense, we have seen the verb dhahaba and dhahabat. These two words, kharaja and kharajat, akala and akalat, sa'ala and sa'alat, right? In these two categories, for he and she, the fa'il is hidden inside the verb. Our eyes cannot see, but our mind can see. So there were only two in the past tense. In the present tense, there are five type of verbs where the doer is not apparent, doer is hidden. Which are they? The word for huwa, the word for hiya, the word for anta, the word for ana, the word for nahnu. They look same in the spelling. How do we identify? We identify simply by looking. If you want to recognize these verbs, the best way is look at the last letter. They all have got dhamma yadhabu, dhamma tadhabu, dhamma tadhabu, dhamma adhabu, dhamma nadhabu, dhamma. So there are many ways for you to identify that these are the verbs which have fa'il, their doer hidden. One way is you could say they were the blue verbs. One is that you could say they are al-af'alul arbi'a, the four verbs. The name is four verbs, though they are five, but the name is four verbs. Or you can say all those verbs, fi'lul mudare, which has got dhamma on the last letter, they have fa'il hidden inside and fa'il is not apparent. So we have done the file, and then obviously we have to discuss maf'ulun bihi because we are doing the verb. We've done the verb sentence. We saw the verb in both forms, past tense and present tense, and then we saw the doer. When we saw doer when it was coming apparent, and then we saw the doer when it's coming as pronoun, and then we saw the object maf'ulun bihi in al-mudarrisa in our example, I guess. So al-mudarrisa was what? It was a apparent noun. So once again, if we say kataba zaidun, let's not bring zaidun. Kataba talibu ad-darsa. Student wrote the lesson. So ad-darsa is what? Mafulun bihi, and it's apparent. So is it possible for the mafulun bihi to come as a pronoun? Yes, why not? Look at this one. We've seen that a while ago as well. Let's have it a bit of detail. Sa'alahu hamidun. Sa'ala is the verb. Hamid is the doer, because we can see that the marfu word is present in the sentence. So we are not going to think that it is hidden somewhere. If something is right in front of you, then you're not going to look for, oh, where is it hidden? And then we added who as mafulun bihi. So who came from which list? Who came from this list? This is the list we have discussed in the beginning of this revision lesson when we were looking at the pronouns for inna, right? So they will come for the maf'ulun bihi if you have to bring the object of the verb. In other words, maf'ulun bihi as a pronoun. Which list you will pick? You will not pick from the list on the right hand side, because this list is for only marfu pronouns. These list of pronoun can only be attached to the verb when they want to play the role of the doer. If you want some pronoun to play the role of the maf'ulun bihi of the object, then you have to pick from this list. So sa'alahu hamidun. If I want to say sa'alaka hamidun, Hamid asked you. So this kaf is our maf'ulun bihi as we see. So we will pick this from this list, from the list of the attached pronouns which can come as mansoob and majroor. Whereas on the right hand side, these are also attached pronouns. Why attached? Because we have to connect it with the letter word, isn't it? They cannot come on its own. They are marfu, so they will only come with the verb in the form of the doer, and this list of the pronoun will come with the verb in the form of a maf'ulun bihi. So sa'alani hamidun. Sa'ala is the verb, hamidun is the doer. Who is the maf'ulun bihi? Look in the English. Hamid asked me. So this ya is coming from this list. As you can see, this ya is coming from here. So if this ya is coming from here, what is this noon doing here? This noon is called noonul wiqaya, noon of protection. And then we have sa'altu hamidan. Now the things change, the sentence change. Now hamidan, in this sentence, like we've discussed earlier, hamidan is mansoob. We can see the fathatain here. Hamidan is coming as a apparent noun, and the doer is coming as a pronoun. Sa'altu, I asked. So where is this two coming from? This two is coming from this list, from here. ذهبت, I went. أكلت, I ate. خرجت, I left. سألت, I asked. And this is the example we've just seen a while ago. In this example, سأل is the verb and your doer is to, which is coming from this list of marfu attached pronoun, and ka is your mafulun bihi. I ask you. So you, ka is mafulun bihi mansub, and it's coming from this list, right? And we say mansub because this is how mafulun bihi always is. There could be who, and who will have a dhamma like this one. So I hope you know that this who is not marfu, this who is mansub. How do we decide marfu, mansub, majroor? Sometimes by looking at haraka, but the words which are mabni, they don't change. We decide what role they are playing by looking at the chair in which they are sitting. So you look at the chair where pronouns are sitting, because pronouns are the words which are fixed. They don't change the way they look. They will always look the same way. For spelling reasons, if they change, it's different, but that's a spelling reason. For example, this who, when you put min before that, it'll become what? Minhu. But if you put fi, it'll become fihi. Just because kasra is coming before, ya is coming before this ha, it will take a kasra. But that is just for the ease of spelling, not for the i'rab. Its role is not changing. Its role is still in fihi, that is ism majroor, right? And minhu as well, it is ism majroor. Min is harf jar after harf jar ism majroor. So this is ism majroor. So all I'm trying to tell you this, that don't look at this fatha of the kaf and think this is fatha because it's mansoob. No, it could be sa'altu ki. I asked you as a female. So then what happened when I say ki? Is it majroor? No, this pronoun is sitting in the chair of mansoob. So we will say it is mafulun bihi mansoob. It has got a fatha, dhamma, kasra, is because this is how this word is, and it doesn't change. This is all we have discussed before. I hope there are no issues with that. We have seen all of these slides. And the last thing what we have learned was that when the word comes in the beginning of the sentence, it will come in the third person singular form, like here. ذهب ذهب الطلاب إلى الملعب. The students went to the playground. Now our sentence is beginning with the verb, so we will always have the first form, which is third person singular form of the verb. But if the verb is coming in the middle of the sentence, then this verb must match what is coming before that. So which kind of sentence is at-tullabu dhahabu ila al-mal'abi? Beginning with the noun. So this is our mubtada. So it means this verb which is coming and sitting in the chair of the khabar for this mubtada, this must match with this mubtada in the gender and in the number. Hence we say at-tullabu dhahabu ila al-malabi, and we can't say at-tullabu dhahaba ila al-malabi. But if the verb is coming in the beginning of the sentence, then it will always be singular. This is the end of the revision, sisters. Somebody may say, oh, we used to have longer classes and the revision is so short. Because if you honestly look into the course, sisters, only few chapters we have done so far. 5 chapters. We have spread those chapters into multiple lessons, so our understanding becomes strong. Now in the revision, this is all the material. This should give you some kind of contentment in your heart. If shaitan was telling, oh, this was too much, you could see there was nothing much really. All the main things What were the part of the topic we have discussed? There were things on the sidelines, but those, as I'm telling you, those were in the sideline. Those are not very much for us to learn and memorize and 100%. Okay, if you forget, it's fine. We can again revise it whenever they will come in the chapter. But what we have seen right now in this revision, all of this is a must. We must master Bismillah ta'ala all of this. If we forget about al-istifham al-manfi, that oh, the question with the negation, what happens with the answer? Okay, it's important. I'm not saying it's not everything is important what was in the book, but those are the things, those are small things. They don't have much detail. So in one line, istifham al-manfi is the question with the negation, answer will be bala if it's the yes, end of it. But these verbs, Ismu Leisa, Inna, they have got more details to it. So it was important for us to spend more time on that. Alhamdulillah, we've spent more time on that. And I hope you had a good study so far and you enjoyed the revision. If there's nothing else, then inshallah, we'll end the class. You will have no homework coming after this revision. You will have the notes, the revision PDF will be sent to you. But that's about it. You will not have anything else to do, so you can take a rest and just revise. Yeah, because we didn't discuss any new topic, so we don't have any notes, we don't have any solutions, we don't have any homework, we don't have any new vocabulary. It's understood, I guess. So we will end the class with that. Jazakumullah khair. Thank you so much for coming, sisters. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of us. After this revision, perhaps we have 4 lessons, and then that's it. We will have one revision once again, which will cover the full level 3. So from chapter 1 to chapter 7, we will see things once again, because in chapter 6 and chapter 7, you will see new things coming. So everything will be covered, inshallah, in the upcoming revision, which will be end of the term revision. After that revision, you will have your certificate exams, and then you will have your beautiful certificates, and then we'll start the new level. With this, inshallah, sisters, we would like to end the class. Jazakumullah khairan for coming. Thank you so much. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.